Okay, I think we're almost good to go. I'm just checking through a few settings here. I'm going to go and check the sound settings and the volume mixer. Make sure, yeah, I've turned X-Plane right down. Let's bring X-Plane up to full volume. Otherwise, you might not be able to hear it. Okay, so we are on the ground at Southend with the FlyJSim DeHavilland Dash 8 Q400, quite a mouthful, in X-Plane 12. And we're going to be flying along the south coast of the UK down to Land's End together. And this is going to be my first proper flight with the Q400. So I spent most of yesterday evening digging through its systems and learning how to operate it, and writing up a functional procedure for myself to get the airplane ready for flight. So if you've never seen one of these, if you're from the X-Plane community, I do these typically for Flight Simulator, really for myself, and then I sell them for the price of a cup of coffee to the community. So I have these documents. So here's the one for the DeHavilland Dash 8. And it goes through, tells you all the links to go and get the bits and pieces that are super useful to have within X-Plane. Goes through the basic keyboard combinations for manipulating views in case you don't know them. Then suggests the views to go and configure, and I'm basing this on the use of X camera to do this. And then we continue on down, and it also goes into details. There's a quirk of the Q400 that you have to assign a button to lift the throttles through the gate in their travel. Otherwise, you don't actually get to go anywhere in a hurry. Or if you do, you don't get to pull the power back away. And then it goes through the whole story of programming the airplane up. So I go through this, the whole guide of programming the FMC up, and then going through engine start, post-engine start, preparing to taxi, taxiing out, preparing for takeoff, and then a few notes at the end. So it runs to about 10 pages. And it points out what to click, where to look for each switch, knob or button, what to do with them, and to make some logical sense out of it all. Okay, so we are in the Q400. So I'm just going to go and check the volumes, having not really... Okay, so you're not hearing the simulator. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? So let's go and play with that. Properties. I want you to hear what I'm hearing in my headset. And that's better. Cool. It's always a bit of how do I say this without swearing? It's always problematic getting the sound to work. Okay, so my instructions, so I'll just show you the keyboard combinations I've set up, which are using an application called X Camera, which is a plugin for X-Plane. So Alt and 1 gives me the forward view, Alt 2 gives me the tablet, Alt 3 gives me the now in an Airbus it would be called the FGCP, but it's the mode control panel basically. And deliberately I'm including the mode control panel and the primary and multifunction displays. Alt 4 shows me the radios and the various knobs and switches at the back of the pedestal. Alt 5 shows me overhead, and Alt 6 shows me the panel with the flight management computers. So, if we go Alt 1, which will bring us back, we're going to go and work through preparing the aeroplane for flight together. So before we do this, we are going to be using a SimBrief flight plan, and that's got some numbers on it. So let's go and have a look at that. The things we're most interested in this SimBrief flight plan is the fuel, obviously. So we're going to come into payload and just make sure that we've got the right information. So if we go and look in the cog here, you get all sorts of options in this aeroplane to influence its behaviour, but we're most interested in what we've got. So auto connect GPU. This is all still very alien to me, by the way. So we're going to select the loadout that we want. And we'll go with some defaults, but we're most interested in the amount of fuel we've got. So 1,300 kilograms. And I bet this is going to be in pounds, isn't it? I'm not sure. So we want takeoff fuel 3,210. I bet that's in pounds. So we're going to cheat slightly and go Gemini and ask it what is 1,300 pounds in kgs. Okay, so we've got way more than we need. Sorry, 3,200. That sounds like kilograms. Okay. So we can give ourselves 3,400, which will probably be far more than we need. So here we go with the live stream comments. I knew this was going to happen. So someone's saying I was hating on X-Plane. I wasn't hating on it at all. I was comparing it. There's a difference. It has massive deficiencies compared to Flight Simulator, but it's still a very good simulator. It's still fun. It's still interesting to use. Okay, and it's worth saying I'm probably, just to get the basics of the UK with a few airports and a few decent aeroplanes, I'm probably about £400 or £500 in the hole at this point. And there's the big difference. It's a huge difference in terms of the amount of money you have to spend to get decent quality kit. And yes, people will talk about using auto-ortho or various other add-ons that are very crashy and unstable, and you have to then lash on trees and buildings using the Microsoft data on top of the ortho textures, and it becomes this house of cards. But if you don't want to go that far and you are doing what I'm doing, which is just giving yourself a few decent aeroplanes, a few decent airports, and decent scenery for a small part of the world, then it's perfectly doable, but it is expensive. Anyway, I'm not going to get involved in the whole row. They're both very good simulators. One is much, much cheaper to own than the other. And one has much, much better physics than the other, and it's not the one you expect. Anyway. So load summary, confirm load, start loading. So while that's happening, can we do this instantly? Load, confirm loading, fast load, there we go. Done. Got all the people on board. Okay, so now we've done that and we don't have to worry about it anymore, we're going to go and run through the rest of the load sheet. So Alt 5 takes us overhead. I'm going to put the battery master to on, main battery to on, auxiliary battery to on, external power to on or down, and then in the AC control we're going to go and put external power on as well. Exterior lights, position lights can go to on, and then over here we're going to go and turn on the emergency lights to armed, the fasten seatbelt sign to on, and the no smoking sign to on. So then we're going to go Alt 6, bringing us down to the flight management computers. On the left FMS we're going to go and turn it on, and we're going to go and turn on the right FMS as well. And we're going to rotate the two knobs here to turn the power onto the screens, which are over here. You can't quite see them from here. We can do the same here, rotating the knobs to turn the screens on. So then Alt 4 brings us further back down the aeroplane. We're going to rotate to the ED BRT. This is the engine display. brightness. Took me ages to find this. On the radio on the left, we're going to turn it to FMS. Same on this one. Then back in the cockpit, we're going to go and put the spoilers, if they're not lit up yet, put them down to taxi, ready for later. You're going to get warnings in the airplane, so we're going to clear the warnings. Things are still booting up. You can see that it takes time for things to align and switch on. And we go and program our route on the FMC. So we're going to come down here, we'll skip sideways a little bit, and we'll accept the nav data, and then go and click the flight plan button. And it knows we're at EGMC, so then we can click the next line and we can start programming our route. So today we are doing a direct out to Detling, then direct to Sam, then BHD, it's Berryhead, isn't it? Then Land's End, and then obviously into the airport. So we want DET is our next waypoint. Enter and accept. Then Sam, SAM, enter, Southampton. Then BHD, BHD is Berryhead. There we go, Berryhead, accept. Then LND for Land's End, LND, enter, accept. And EGHC is our eventual destination, which is Land's End Airport. Okay, so having done that, we can just remove the focus. If we press flight plan, it will come back up to the summary screen. If we press flight plan again, you'll see the steps, and it's highlighting Detling as our first step of our route. We don't have any SIDS or stars or anything, but we can at least tell it which runway we're departing from. So runway 23 out of Southend. So we can come back into here and go menu and depart. And to get runway 23, we just type in 2 and press enter. We don't have a SID, so we press enter, and then we can come back to the flight plan, and it's got, yeah, it's saying no link. That's fine. So we can, it's like having a discontinuity essentially. So we can highlight that line and delete and delete. Okay, so having done that, you can see we've got the line showing up on the screen. The controls for the navigation screen are down here. So let's just have a little look through this. We can say the primary mode. So before I do this, then I programmed the route. Let's go and look at the nav source. I'm just making sure that the nav source is correct. And look down here. So we got nav and it's showing system on the right side, nav on the left side. So we see system and nav. The engines always show on the center screen, so the pilot and co-pilot can see them both. Okay, so we've got the basics done. We can press B to calibrate the altimeter. We can also press D, I think, to calibrate any gyros, but I don't think it will affect this aeroplane. Okay. So we are ready to do pushback. We are going to use say intentions today to make it a bit more interesting. So we are at Southend Airport. We're going to go to clearance in a moment. Now we don't have a clearance frequency, so it's going to be the next thing up the tree, which will be ground. We don't have ground, so it's going to be tower. We have departures though. Yeah, that's going to be once we've left though. Okay, let's go for then ramp might do it. We'll go for tower. We are going to be if I go and show you the outside of the aeroplane, I can explain this. Shift 4. We're going to be flyB today, so flyB 073. And it's been raining, look, there's puddles everywhere. It has been atrocious weather today. So this is one of the tricks that X-Plane 12 can do, is puddles on the ground. It's quite good at it. It's not wonderful because it gets graphical artifacts all over the place, but you can't know everything, I guess. Okay. So let's pull up say intentions. I've got wires tangling across my desk. Say intentions. We're going to go talk to tower. Tower Flyby 073 requesting clearance to Land's End as filed. Why are we not hearing it? Southend Tower, Flyby 073, radio check please. Yeah, we're hearing it now. Just heard the squelch. Say again, 073.
Cessna Bravo Echo Kilo, readability 5.
Okay, this hasn't got the identity. Good job I came in here. Yeah, we've got, this should be, it's the dash 8, isn't it? And let me just look this up to get it correct.
Golf November Charlie, welcome to Southend. Taxi to General Aviation Parking via Delta, stay with me.
So the dash 8 ICAO
Taxi
is
to General Aviation via Delta, staying with you, Golf November Charlie.
And it's
Golf November Charlie,
Flyby
contact departure on 130.7.
073.
0.78, Golf November Charlie.
Flyby 073, cleared to Land's End as filed. After departure, climb not above 2,000 feet, runway 23 left circuit. When ready, report for taxi. 073.
Flyby 073, correct readback. Report ready for taxi.
Okay. So we need to climb out to 2,000 feet then, basically. It's quite a low climb out, isn't it? I guess it's to stay away from the approach patterns for some of the big city airports. So we can go and sort some of that immediately. So we've got the controls here for the autopilot, so you can see over here, look. We're going to set that for 2,000 feet. We're going to set the nav source. You can see there, look, flicking through the nav sources to FMS1, so we're going to be using the GPS. We've got nav source as well on the co-pilot side. So we're going to set him up using FMS1 as well. We're going to set the heading to the runway direction. So, which was 23, wasn't it? And we can do an altitude select, which means it will climb out. We can also go for vertical speed mode, for example, and go and tell it to go and climb out at sort of 2,000 to 2,500 feet a minute until it gets to 2,000 feet. So that should all be fine. So if when we engage the autopilot on the climb out, it will pretty much take over instantaneously. It should be fairly straightforward. Okay. So we can perform pushback. Do we need to perform pushback? Probably not. We're facing the right way, so we can just fire the engines
I'll grab
up
that clearance.
and then
give me
taxi
just
out.
a minute.
So if we go
Cleared for ladies, starts after departure, fly radar
so preparing for
spare,
engine start
departure
now.
runway 23, initial
takes us
climb
overhead.
3000, squawk.
We're going to go to APU control, which is in the middle. We're going to turn the power on for the APU and turn start on for the APU.
Southend Tower, good evening. Citation Jet Papa Hotel Mike Charlie Whiskey with Sierra established on the localizer for the ILS, runway 23 approach.
So if we come down here, do we get the APU stats on the displays? I don't think we do. We do need to go and set the... Oh, of course we don't have hydraulics ready for the flaps yet, do we? So something else that's worth looking at. You'll notice we programmed the flight plan into here. But it doesn't appear on the second FMC. It's independent, but you can do a master crossfill from FMS1. And then they talk to each other and it populates. So now we have the same on both sides. So we can accept that, go to flight plan, and we've got the same flight plan on both sides of the system now. Yeah, I'm going to go turn the ATC down. Say Intentions has a habit of being horribly loud, which is a bit of a pain sometimes. It can be combated by going into Say Intentions itself and pulling the levels down. So if you go into headset, you can do things like this, which will then mean we can turn the volume back up in here so you get to hear the aeroplane and don't get drowned out by the controller. Okay, so if we go back overhead, we should find that this is running now. Yep, APU is running. And we can put the air on and we can start the right engine. So the way you do this is you select the engine here and you start it, and then down here you'll see the NH come up, and it's already come up, and then we can advance these levers. Now they don't go independently, which is a bit of a shame, and I can't find a way of making them independent, which means the fuel's already on for engine number 1 when we come to start it, which is a bit of a shame. So if we go and look overhead, we can see start is come back into the middle, so we can go engine number 1 and start it. You can see NH is coming up for engine number 1. We can do, obviously its fuel is already advanced, fuel control lever, so you can see, if you look carefully, that the interturbine temperature is coming up, the propeller RPM has come up, the NH is coming up, and the torque is there as well. We can advance the control lock. So these throttles are a bit of a so-and-so. They've got a lever underneath them, so you can pull them back. I'm going to remove my constraints on them. You have to pull them back. You can see it doing it, look, and it's not having it. One of them has decided not to go, not to play. So yeah, I had fun and games with this yesterday, playing with it. And now they've gone back. I'm going to leave them on disk. So there is a gate. There's a hardware gate in the real aircraft, and it makes it really fiddly in the simulator to make it behave itself. Anyway, so the starters are done, so you can see the start has gone off, and we can advance these through now. Now they're started to 850, and then you've got 900, so we won't push them up to 900 until we're a bit further out. So let's go and have a look at that. Busy drying the puddles. So yeah, I'm sure the independent levers is something in here that I just haven't found yet. So single brake axis, steering axis, clipboard yokes, barrow sync, barrow units. So it's interesting, isn't it? I just haven't found it yet. There's obviously a way of doing it. So it's something for me to go dig another rabbit hole to go and find out how to do that. Okay, so let's go and look at the temperatures. We're all looking good across the board.
Aerostar, Golf 6, Mike Whiskey Bravo. Ready
to start the engines. So post engine start. So we're going to go back overhead. We're going to go and take the airbag off. Turn this generator off and turn the APU off because obviously the engine's not generating. And we can go and just make sure that generator switches are on.
Runway 5, initial climb 3000.
Generators are on for AC as well.
130.78, squawk 2424, Golf 6 Mike Whiskey Bravo.
So we can go and look at the cabin altitude. We're only going to be flying at low level today, so it's not going to be a major issue. So we can put this onto midway though to allow it to change easily, and it's on auto already. So the hydraulics, and I can never remember where this is, down here. We're going to go and put standby hydraulics on and the PTU control on. And then make sure these are on nav, or at least one of them, so that's nav on the left side, systems on the right side. And we're going to prepare to taxi, so looking forwards, we need to go and turn the steering on, which is here, otherwise we don't get to steer. We're going to go and turn the anti-skid on, which I think is right over there. Probably going to need it today in the rain. Okay, so overhead, taxi lights on. You can see we still haven't got the pitot heat. We haven't got a standby battery. That's an interesting one. Did I miss it? Yes. We haven't got the flight data recorder. And I'm trying to remember how you do that. So pitot static switches can go to on, down. So if we go and have a look overhead again just to find them. They're on the left hand side. So pitot. So this would be the flight data recorder. It says norm. I'm not sure if it maybe it starts to operate when we're in the air. Again, like I said, I'm still learning the aeroplane really. So let's go and taxi out anyway.
Southend Tower, KLM 146, ILS 05.
Park and brake off.
November 146, Juliet. Juliet, Southend Tower identified.
So we've got the propellers in disc
Runway 5 LittleNavMap.
mode.
November 146, Juliet.
Standard setting 055.
So we're ready to taxi, so we're just going to bring ourselves around and hold here. Southend Tower, Flybe 073, requesting taxi to runway 23.
Runway 23, taxi via Charlie, Alpha.
Taxi via Charlie and Alpha to runway 23, Flybe 073. Nose at some of the other aeroplanes that are in here today. So we've got British Airways, there's an Airbus, an EasyJet Airbus, And a Delta Airbus. What's a Delta Airbus doing at Southend? So I've moved the throttles out of disk and it will start to accelerate wildly. I still haven't quite got it sorted out for dealing with it. We won't be able to. So we'll have to go into beta to help it slow down. It's a train.
Swiss 600 is ready to copy IFR to Geneva.
Southend Tower, Juliet November 295, ready for startup clearance.
Oh, this is going to be a pain. The throttles are stuck.
Clearance.
I still need to have a look at this to get it to work reliably. It's a real pain. Yeah, look, one of them has gone independently of the other. So we're going to sit here on the toe brakes and put the landing lights on. Static pitot and static heaters are already on, so we should be pretty good to go. Yeah, we've just got the parking brake on at the moment. Or I think so. Let's have a little look. Yeah, the parking brake is on, which is reversed, which is weird. There's some serious issues with the Thrustmaster controllers with getting this thing to work. Because that's with the parking brake on and it's creeping forwards. Look, it's almost like there's no brake unless they use their toe brakes. Anyway, some issues for me to sort out. And again, this is some of the things that X-Plane is particularly poor at. Every aeroplane implements different things, or implements various aspects differently than each other. So there's no commonality. Okay, so let's turn off the head tracking for a moment. We're going to go talk to the tower. Southend Tower, Maya 07, sorry, FlyB 073, lined up runway 23.
Wind 200 at 14, runway 23, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared to take off, runway 23, FlyB 073. So this is where we need to have head tracking, so we can look down, and we can there we go. Both throttles are out the gate. We can do that. And then we can open the throttles. We're getting a warning somewhere.
Golf India Yankee request IFR clearance for flight to Bournemouth.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
I wonder what the warning is. There's no light showing up.
Tower EV138 Tango is at stand 6 with information Mike requesting clearance to Newcastle.
Oh, I didn't have the flaps set correctly. I only had the flaps on the first stage. That's what the warning was for. It was a configuration issue. So coming up to 1,000 feet, we're within 1,000 feet of our target, which is why we've got the warning. LNav is working. Let's do this with head tracking. And we can go vertical speed mode. And it's leveling out for 2,000 feet. Oh, it's descending. Why is it descending? Autopilot is on, your damper is on, and it's descending when I've set vertical speed. Why? That's bizarre.
Easy 4465.
Oh, it's to do with power. I was trying to hit a speed target, I just didn't have enough power. It's a FADEX throttle system. Here we go, it's working.
465, information Juliet on board.
Learning every day's a school day with this aeroplane. And it's juggling lots of things at once, so yeah, we just didn't have enough power.
I grab the paperwork.
I'm always cautious about, I mean, look at the oil temperatures even now, look, they're edging up towards the limit. Southend Tower, FlyJSim 073, approaching 2,000 feet on the departure out towards Land's End.
FlyJSim 073, roger. Continue climb altitude, not above 2,000 feet.
They just told us not above 2,000 feet. It was quite ropey. This plane doesn't simulate with water on the windscreen, by the way. It's a bit of a shame. I think it was because it was originally an X-Plane 11 aeroplane. Yeah, so Chris is saying there's a whole checklist for the autopilot. I know. We're just doing the basics. The main issue there. No, we're getting a warning for overspeed. It really is like balancing a broom on the end of your hand flying this aeroplane at times. So I'm just pulling the power back a little bit. It's obviously below 10,000 feet, 250 knots is our absolute limit. So let's look at the outside. Oops, wonky. So we're flying along 2,000 feet quite happily. In the rain. Quite a lot to learn, isn't there, with this aeroplane?
FlyJSim 073, you're leaving my airspace.
Okay, so we're leaving his airspace. We're going to go and transfer over. Switching over to centre. Good day. FlyJSim 073. Centre FlyJSim 073 departing Southend on flight plan as filed towards Land's End, requesting flight follow.
All stations, QNH 1013.
Unity and free call next station en route.
interesting because we had an IFR flight plan with SimBrief and it's taking no notice of it. So it hasn't given us transponder. I don't think it did. This has got completely the wrong place. We want... Yeah, St. Intentions is having a bit of a turn, I think, today. So we want centre, don't we? So if we go and put these sectors on, we want London. Can we find out within St. Intentions? Went to EGMC. She's going to get us the weather, isn't it? That's going to be FlyJSim centres, but not what we're after. So yeah, it's not going to give us the radio frequencies.
London Control, EV21 Yankee with you for flight 330, passing 180.
EV21 Hotel Yankee, London Control identified, I.
London Control, FlyB073 requesting flight following to Land's End.
Cruise direct frame, resume and navigation after EV21 Yankee, many thanks.
Still at 2,000 feet. London Control, radio check. What is wrong with this? I'm going to reverse the volumes. London Control, radio check, please. London Control, FlyB073 requesting higher.
FlyB073, climb your requested altitude.
This is almost like it hasn't read SimBrief. 24,000 feet. I wonder if that's what's going on. Let's do new flight. I think that's what's happened. It hasn't got the SimBrief flight plan, and it's not telling me that. So if we do new flight, it should pick up that we're on the SimBrief flight plan. It may be too late though, so we may end up having to do this VFR.
Cycle E279 at flight level 370.
Lufthansa Cargo 8279 at London Control identified. Good afternoon.
doesn't like it because we're in mid-air. London Control, FlyB 073 requesting flight following. We'll start that climb to 24,000. We may have to just go VFR, but we'll see.
FlyB 073, exit traffic service, squawk conspicuity and free call next station en route.
They're not going to have it, are they? So it looks like we're not having ATC today. Go 1,000 feet a minute until we get to 24,000 feet then. So I've programmed the flight into the FMC, it's all in there. It's just that ATC are not aware of it. It's almost like it wasn't filed. It may have been, I thought I'd started say intention second. But something weird's going on. What I'm going to do is shut say intentions down and reopen it again in a few seconds and give it a reboot. Yeah, we've got the, I'm just reading the live stream comments. We've got the flight plan, it's fine, the airplane's following it. So we can do all the lovely tricks like watching ourselves climbing out. It's horrible today. Really horrible. And if we go shift 4, we can see ourselves in the driving rain. Right, let's go and open up the say intentions again and see if we can get it to play ball. Because it would make it nice if we could hear the traffic en route. Doing 210 knots, that's not bad, is it? It's getting quite hot though on the oil where we're pushing the engine so much.
Good morning, Biggin Hill. This is Cessna 163 Tango and Elvira Optica at ramp 2, requesting, with information uniform, requesting IFR clearance to London Gatwick. Biggin Hill, this is Cessna 163 Tango and Aero Elvira at ramp 2 with information uniform, requesting IFR clearance to London Gatwick.
IFR clearance, just a second.
For some reason, London Centre is very, very quiet. London Centre, FlyB 073, climbing to flight level 240 en route to Land's End, requesting flight following. This should give us a transponder code.
FlyB 073, exit traffic service, squawk conspicuity and free call next station en route.
Squawk conspicuity. Interesting. So So a squawk conspicuity is an air traffic control instruction for a pilot to set their transponder to a standard code that makes the aircraft visible on radar without a specific assigned code. For VFR flights, this is 7,000. For instrument flights, it is 2,000, which we are using. So we just need to go and turn it on then. There we go. It's only saying standby. Are we not transmitting, or is that TCAS that that's actually referring to?
8 Bravo, LittleNavMap departure, climb flight level 230.
230 easy, flight level 230 easy 78 Bravo.
Departure, Griffin 09 Yankee with you, flight level 22.
Griffin 09 Yankee, LittleNavMap departure, identified, climb flight level 060.
So we are 900 in the climb, by the way. See, half the battle with this is just learning where all the buttons and switches are. So at the moment we don't have the transponder on. It's on standby by the look of it. And we've got ID working, but we haven't got... What can we do in here? Let's have a little explore around, shall we? So that one's in standby as well. It's almost like the transponder's not on, but there's no obvious button to go turn it on. Well, not on that panel anyway. Is it up on the glare shield somewhere? Nope. It's frustrating. I hate not knowing. So someone's saying press and hold the transponder button. Well, that's intuitive. So now we've got rid of the conspicuity, as they're saying. It just basically means we are not broadcasting. So we're now on a standard IFR frequency. London Control, flight B073, requesting flight following to Land's End.
Flight 073, exit traffic service, remain outside controlled airspace, squawk conspicuity and pre-call next station en route.
They're still claiming the same thing. I need to go and talk to Say Intentions about this to find out what their advice is for these kind of edge cases.
London Control, Speedbird Lima 10, en route to Inverness. London Control, Speedbird 410, Lima 10, requesting IFR clearance to Inverness.
So we're going through 10,000 feet, landing lights can come off, and we're getting a pressure warning in the cabin. That's the landing altitude, not the cabin altitude. still complaining about the flight data recorder. Again, need to read the book for that one. It's an interesting one, isn't it? So, oh, we've got ice detected as well outside, so I need to go and turn on the propeller. So it's going to, is it going to inflate the boots? Is that actually going to be simulated?
Request flight following.
Be interesting to see if they do inflate.
Seabird 420, flight level 170, climbing to flight level 230. Seabird
We're still in this horrible freezing rain.
Identified. Good afternoon.
Such a sunny day. Oh, I shouldn't laugh really, because we've got to land at the other end. Where are we? Let's go and have a look. If we can increase the range on the navigation display. Coming up to 14,000 feet. Let's have a look on the map. See where we are. So we're heading out towards Southampton. Let's increase the climb rate and get out of Dodge, shall we? Vertical speed. Let's give it some power to play with. Wind gusting around, pushing the speed around. So there's Berry Head out ahead of us. We're going to have a wander around the aeroplane. Don't tell me the toilets work.
London Control, good evening, give a speed to 351, climbing to 180.
Speedbridge 351, London Control, roger. Speedbridge 351, London Control, climb and maintain, flight level 250.
Climb and maintain 250, speedbridge 351.
It's pretty well modelled, isn't it? coming up to 18,000 feet. Yeah, I've had a quick look in the cabin last night while I was exploring the aeroplane. You can open the baggage holds as well. There's lots of tricks around the aeroplane. So let's have a good look at some of these options we get then. So we get the state of the airplane. Your role is captain, so you can put yourself on the first officer side automatically. Kilograms or pounds, inches or hectopascals, that's all standard stuff. Baro sync, so you can disable synchronization. I've put it on enable just to make my life easier. Seasonal weights, that's interesting. J-pad location, this is the J-pad, so it's where it puts it around the cockpit. Yokes, I'm hiding them at the moment because they get in the way. You can see clipboards, show or hide. So that's the clipboards. Where are they? Oh, I thought it was there. This is it. So you can open these clipboards. You can put PDFs and stuff in them, I think. Steering axis, obviously, control display. I've disabled it. You get a view of the power levers that highlights when you move the throttles. So you've got single brake axis, auto, engine control manipulators. We want dual, don't we? That would explain why.
Skyways 148, contact clearance control on 135.55.
That's what was causing it when we were on the ground. So I'm using Thrustmaster Airbus quadrant, which hasn't got enough stalks, obviously, to be able to do everything sensibly, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, we're getting up towards 24,000 feet. We're going to be in the cloud the whole way, aren't we? Like, this is just horrific weather. If we go and have a look to tell you why this is happening, if we go to windy.com and we turn on the clouds, that's why. So we're just going along here, look, at the moment towards Berry Head, and it's just horrific. Let's look at the radar. Oh, that's the paid for radar. We don't want that one, we just want this one. Yeah, look. We're right in the mid-teeth of this. We're going to come out of it though. Hopefully we'll be able to avoid too much of it at Penzance. That was just telling us we're within 1,000 feet of our target. So yeah, I'm actually running transmitter in the background, so if we go and look at the radar screen, we will see ourselves going across the south of the UK. There we are, look. Just passing Southampton now, B073. And we can put radar on this now. I added it the other day, so we can click on the rain cloud. Oh my word. So that's what we've just experienced. Should we have a nosy and see who else is actually online today? There's a few people. The usual suspects, several of them. Interesting. So if you've never seen this before, Transmitter is a little program I wrote. It allows you to share your location, so if you're in a group flight or just flying with friends, you can see where each other are on the map. So it's a fly with lure macro. So if I pop open the window, obviously it's connected at the moment, so you can change your call sign, and then it obviously borrows the data from the aeroplane of altitude, speed, and so on, and aircraft type, and sends it up to the internet every few seconds, or every second.
Papa Whiskey 63 Tango, contact stolen radar on 120.23.
Stolen radar on 120.23, Papa Whiskey 63 Tango.
So seeing as they wouldn't let us talk to them, I'm going to stay on their frequency in case they do decide to talk to us all of a sudden. They know we're up here. But then we'll talk to We could descend below the cloud actually. I think we'll end up being incredibly low though. If we get the weather from Exeter, so if we go to windy, and what's the, is it EGTE? I can never remember. Yeah, EGTE would be Exeter. So actually we can see the METAR here, can't we? Scattered 5,000 feet, broken 10,000 feet. Okay. So we could descend to 5,000 feet, then we'll at least get to see something en route. So should we do that? So we'll go and set our target altitude back down to 5,000, seeing as ATC weren't playing ball today for whatever reason. We'll set that as a selected altitude and then go vertical speed to get there. We could use speed mode, I guess, but we can always use so you get to see the green banana. Let's bring the range down on the display slightly. There's Berry Head in the distance. And we'll keep an eye on the speed. So we're going to pull the power back just to even it out. And that's about right by the look of it. Oh no, it's creeping up again. Give it a few seconds just to see what the acceleration is. It looks okay actually. So we're descending.
Stand by, you're number one.
Clear to pilot Fran 1, Mike Park.
Lovely day.
Left climb, flight level 060 with departure on 118.95, squawk 6442, easy flight for Alpha Papa.
It's a shame this doesn't have AviTab available. We've got AviTab in the aeroplane, so we can pop it open, but it's a shame it doesn't integrate. It's using Navigraph, which is good. So we want IFR low, don't we? We're not at 30-odd thousand feet. So speed is holding, temperatures are good. Let's have a look on the route as a whole. We've got a Navigraph running in the background as well, not that we really needed it today. So we're on our way out towards Land's End. We'll get within striking distance of the aircraft, of the airfield. So if I go add range rings on our little chart here, I'll say if we put say a 30 or 20-mile range ring around it. So when we cross that line, we'll talk to the tower at Land's End, the tower coming in from the east. If I requesting a full stop landing, and they'll give us some instructions hopefully. This is where I go and look and find out there's no tower. No, we do have a tower.
With you at flight
Good.
level 025, climbing to flight level 060.
Felix, November 146 Romeo Juliet, London Control, identified. Clear direct DET 31, climb flight level 140.
Clear to DET 31 and climbing flight level 140, Felix 146.
So, just out of interest then, if we were to change this, so that's the active frequency. And it's supposed to be 2000 for IFR. If we went, even though it's raining, let's see what happens if we switch to 7000. London Control, Flybe 073 requesting flight following.
Flight 073, exit traffic service, remain outside controlled airspace, squawk conspicuity and pre-call next station en route.
They're still being funny about it. Remain outside controlled airspaces, squawk conspicuity and free call next station. Okay, so they're basically saying they're not going to do it. Stay on the appropriate frequency for the conditions, which would be 2000 at the moment. Because we can't see a thing. I think it's actually getting worse, look. I mean, look, that's the flyby. Where's the aeroplane? Here it is. And there it was. Hopefully the weather's going to break when we get a bit closer to Land's End. So we're down to 15,000 feet and descending. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, it was an interesting one that the very first reaction when I started the stream up was somebody just on the attack, having a go about me dissing X-Plane. When I haven't dissed it, I've just pointed out the differences between FlyJSim and X-Plane.
Speedbird 113, climb flight level 370.
Climb flight level 370, Speedbird 113.
It seems to be everybody wants to be on a side with everything these days instead of just saying both simulators are fun. One of them costs a lot and doesn't look as good as the other. But it doesn't cost a lot in one go. It costs a lot to assemble the world in it, which you get for nothing with the other one. That said, the stock airfields in Flight Simulator are not as good as some of the stock airfields in X-Plane. And the same is true the other way around. Some of the stock airfields in X-Plane are terrible. They're like billiard tables. An awful lot of them, actually. So the work that Microsoft has done with their AI partners to build out the world is a game changer. It really is. And yes, you can download the various add-ons for X-Plane that correct the building locations and download the ortho scenery. But you don't need to do any of that with Flight Simulator. It just comes like it. It's got it out of the box. Also, the weather modelling in Flight Simulator is massively better than X-Plane. Massively better than X-Plane with add-ons. It simulates the movement of the air mass over the ground shapes. So when you're in hills, it becomes fun. It's dynamic. The real draw for me for X-Plane is there are aeroplanes in X-Plane that don't exist in Flight Simulator. Yet. That's always the proviso, isn't it? are being absolutely pelted with rain again. It's just like horizontal. So is there anything here about rendering the rain? Is there anything in the simulator about rendering the rain? Let's go and have a quick look. Nope. So it must be down to the aircraft to manipulate, or to implement the rain. And this one obviously doesn't do it. Just reading the comment there from in the live stream, someone saying, I like X-Plane 12 for IFR and Flight Simulator for chilling and enjoying the view. I think that's it, isn't it? You use whichever simulator suits whatever you're wanting to do, if you have the opportunity to do that. Okay, this seems to be brightening up a little bit. Are we about to come out of the rain? So we're about to pass Berry Head. Let's go and have a look on windy.com. Oh, hello, we've got an alarm going on. We're overspeeding. Yes. I'm going to throw the spoilers out as well. It's not wanting to slow down. You may have to reduce the vertical speed. Only just overspeeding. Obviously we're coming down into the thicker air. But yeah, I think the thing that frustrates me the most amongst the various simulator communities is the people who have made their decision to buy something and then feel the need to trash everything else. And it's almost like that people have to be on a side. They can't just say they're all good. We can have fun with any of them. It's kind of frustrating, really. Okay, let's go and turn the head tracking on for a bit. Oh, we've got a cloud showing. We're coming out of it. We've got glimpses of sky. And we're overspeeding again. We can see some ground down there. There's a ship through a gap in the clouds. Let's have a look from outside. And there's the ship we saw. My word, this is going to be fun trying to land at Land's End, isn't it? I think it's going to be super interesting to see what the PlayStation 5 users think of Flight Simulator, whether there'll be a lot more people in the sky in the simulator. Yeah, it's going to be good fun. And again, it's kind of frustrating that a certain corner of the community have seen the approaching PlayStation users in the flight sim community, and I've kind of looked down their nose at them, and I just don't think that's fair at all. Surely the more people involved, the more fun, because there's people in the sky and they're all learning their way and finding their way and having fun, and that's what it's about really. Okay, I forgot to put altitude select on, so we're continuing to descend. I need to go fix that. That said, so it should level itself out. It's still descending like the clappers, isn't it? You need to be careful because there's hills. If we look up, you can see, look, there's the coast. But we are just below the clouds, so maybe we'll stay this altitude. It's still descending, even though I've put altitude hold on. So altitude hold. Set the altitude to 3000 then. Keeping on the speed, we had quite a lot of alpha there. We can see the ground. Hello Cornwall. We can see you at last. I think we're in Cornwall, let's have a look. Have we crossed over yet? Yeah, there's Plymouth, so we're in Cornwall now. Just going over Brixham. Down here. Our friends have got a little cottage here that we hired out a little while ago. It's very good. Is there a decent small turboprop airliner in Flight Simulator? There is the ATR, which is really nice. It's a 2020 plane, but it does work in 2024. I know because I've flown it in 2024. And again, it's similar to this in that it's quite quirky. You do need to study it a bit to operate it correctly. Oh, I just need to get the door. Have a look inside. Yeah, we're overspeeding enormously now. Look how fast this aeroplane is. Just letting the speed bleed off. We're about to rip the wings out. I daren't move the flaps or anything. Going to rip the aeroplane to pieces. Just trying to balance the throttles to make it not move around, but in the wind gusting around it's quite problematic. Okay, so we're flying in directly towards Land's End now. So as we said, when we get within 20 miles or so, which we can see on the map in LittleNavMap. Let's turn the sectors off. The flight plan from Simbrief made me laugh. Look at where the alternate is. So if we can't get into Land's End, rather than just come back up the coast and land at Exeter, they're going to go all the way over to Teesside. 300 miles away. So we're about to go. Oh no, we're not in Cornwall yet. That was Exmouth, not Plymouth, that I was looking at. We're in Devon at the moment.
2500.
And the weather is clearing. So this is the version of the UK that you can get from Orbex, that puts all the correct field boundaries and everything in, and obviously the textures. It looks okay from a few thousand feet up. Speeds wandering around. Can put some more power down. We can actually see stuff outside now. Trying to bring the speed up a bit. We're going a little bit too slow. You can see it dropping the nose look as we accelerate. Okay, so we are below 10,000 feet, although we're not doing IFR, but we ought to really have the landing lights on. Okay, this is Plymouth. So Drake's Island. So let's go and find, before we get there, the frequencies for Land's End. Com frequency, traffic tower 120255. Let's go and get that dialed in. We're not going to call them just yet, but we can listen in on the frequency and we'll hear any traffic. So we're just passing Lou, Tulland and Polperro. That's where my mum and dad live. Out there in the mist. Boat going past underneath us.
Golf Tango Hotel, Mike is on short final inbound to St Morgan. Please advise whether I have landing clearance. No, I cannot expect pattern entry instructions in a few minutes. That's what you said a few minutes ago. I'm now inbound to land.
Tango Hotel, Mike, expect your pattern entry instructions shortly.
He's going to lose his temper.
Expect me to be landing shortly.
What's this boat down here then? What is with the boats doing all these hard turns all the time? Strange, isn't it? So we're 40 miles out from Land's End now. Navigraph is the little town down here. We're just passing. So we've got a comment here of somebody who's looking at running X-Plane on a Mac. You need a bit of a beast of a Mac to run it. Ideally you need more than 16 gig of RAM, and ideally you need the latest silicon, because obviously it's got a lot more grunt to be able to throw X-Plane around at a decent frame rate. I tried running it on about a 4-year-old MacBook Pro. It really didn't like it. It ran, but it looked very, very poor. And I couldn't obviously run anything else alongside it because it was maxing out. It only had 16 gig of RAM. But yeah, so you need a bit of a beast of a Mac to run it. So one of the new Apple Silicon CPUs. Okay, screen had a bit of a fit there. It's fine. Oh, we are getting water now. So, oh, at slower speeds then and altitudes, the water is working. Interesting. Some pretty hard weather, isn't it? So this is Trelisic, yeah, and down towards Falmouth is out there on the Falmouth's over there. So should we make our call into Land's End? Land's End Tower, Flybe 073 at 3,000 feet, about 20 miles to your east, requesting full stop landing.
Flight 073, runway 25, left circuit, report downwind.
Runway 25, left circuit, will report downwind. Flybe 073, thank you. Okay, that's that done. Let's get comfortable.
073, roger, report final.
So, he misunderstood that. I think he thought I was downwind. He didn't look on his radar screen, did he? Runway 25. So, that's giving us a huge crosswind. Anyway. So the easiest way to do that would be to orbit the airfield and then come down this way, report here, and then we'll go final. So we'll just stay at 3,000 for the moment. So altitude of the airfield is 396 feet. So we want to be at about 2,000 feet then, 1,900 feet, just to be on the more correct side of that. But we're not going to do that just yet. Can always prepare it, of course. And if we go vertical speed and start it going...
Good afternoon to you. This is Papa Golf Juliet Mike Romeo Hotel. Sorry, this is Cessna Golf Juliet Mike Romeo Hotel. Requesting IFR clearance as filed
to where? No, just ignore that. I'll come back to you in a moment. Sorry.
I do that all the time. I'm so guilty of doing what he just did. So let's bring the heading boat round to the direction we're going, because we're going to be going to heading mode very soon.
Filed, please, to Bristol Airport.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
We are going to be visual. There is no... I don't think this thing has a an RNAV computer. So you can't go playing silly games with offsetting VORs to give yourself a localizer or anything like that. Oh, just look where I'm going now, didn't I? And bring this down right the way down to 10-mile range. Heading down towards 1900 feet. We've got the landing lights on already, haven't we? So let's start losing some speed. Don't want to be too fast in the circuit around the airfield. So the magic
Echo
of
Romeo
keyboard keys, we can make
8386,
ourselves taller.
welcome to Land's End. Taxi to parking at your discretion and monitor this frequency.
Echo Romeo 8. Landed Echo Romeo 8386.
So we're going to fly all the way around, get a nice orbit of the airfield to look at it, and then drop in on 25. We'll report position when we're downwind for 25. Should be able to see the airfield by now. I think it's just on this flat area of land out here, look, on the peninsula. So we're going to go heading mode at this point. There's the airfield, look, in the mist. So the runway we're flying alongside here is actually the one we're going to be coming in on. Let's turn the autopilot off.
final runway 07. So Qatar, Papa, Hotel, Alpha Tango,
on the map, so you can
Whiskey,
see what I'm
Land
doing.
and Tower,
So
Roger.
it's swinging around 90 degrees. There's runway 07. The other end is 25. So we line up on the reciprocal. Let's get the gear down. First stage of flaps. Tower Flyby 073 downwind for runway 25.
Flyby 073, Roger, report final.
Dropped a little bit low then, just correcting it. Having never landed this thing before. Tower 073 on final, runway 25. We're too high now. We have to go around. The flaps kicked in and gave us way more lift than I anticipated.
Runway 25, wind 3.
Tower 073 is going around.
Too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low, terrain, too low,
Runway 25, left circuit, report downwind.
We'll report downwind the 073. That towards is annoying, isn't it? Let's try that again. Maybe we'll give ourselves a bit more of a run in to get stabilised. Having never flown this, it's certainly a bit of a handful.
001 requesting startup clearance. Tower Canada Airways 001 is requesting IFR clearance.
Careless Airways 001, read back correct.
Lands in Tower Piper Bravo Echo Alpha 5 Tango, parked at ramp 4 with information Kilo, request IFR clearance to Wick.
Okay, that's 70 degrees. We'll extend further out this time and get a proper approach. Tower Flyby 073 downwind for runway 25. Try and do it this time, hey?
Flyby 073, Roger, report final.
These hills on this side of the airfield make it quite deceiving, don't they? Because it is downhill all the way to the airfield from this side. Okay, I'm side slipping to lose some speed. It's a false flat look, it's downhill quite steep towards the runway. We're not going to get in, you know. It's doing it again, look, it's accelerating. This is the disc, it's the disc gate. And, yeah, the spoilers aren't working. And now the throttles have decided to dump and to not fly the aeroplane anymore. We've got no power, look.
50, 40, 20, 10, 50.
So the gate suddenly kicks in. Yeah, this is a major problem with the controls. We got the throttle stuck in the gate then. It's going to be a handful, so we're going to have to get the throttles configured and get absolutely certain of what's causing the gate to get stuck on going to disk mode to slow the aeroplane down on approach. Okay, let's try this again. Final time. So we're basically being tripped up by the gate getting stuck on the throttles, and without looking at it as you do it, you can't be certain it's happened. And I've seen so many people complaining about this on the forums, about this aeroplane, saying it's a wonderful aeroplane, but if you don't get it configured just so with the throttles, it becomes a walking time bomb. So there's the airfield again. Tower FlyB 073 downwind once again for runway 25.
FlyB 073, roger, report final.
So let me just go and check something. Joystick, throttles. Speed brakes are supposed to be working on that axis, okay? Done. Watch. Nothing. I don't know why. So we're having to do this without speed brakes. So what we're going to do to kind of hack the aeroplane
Tower Golf Charlie Bravo Kilo Romeo requesting IFR clearance
is use more flaps. Way more flaps. So the flaps will give us drag.
2500. 2500.
Cleared to Silly Isles, radar vectors to Land's End, depart runway 25, initial climb
there's the runway.
4,000 feet, contact departures of 126.08, walking 4277 Golf Kilo Romeo.
So we're going full flaps all this way out here so we can stabilize. And that's working. So even with the throttles ahead of the gates, we've got a sensible speed and it's not accelerating. Could have done without this crosswind. Tower FlyB 073 on finals, runway 25.
Sync rate,
FlyB 073, roger, clear to land, runway 25, wind 320 at 13.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20, 10.
No, there's no way. We're going to go through the fence. That's extremely annoying, and it's all because we can't get the throttles into reverse easily because of the way this aeroplane's put together. So we're going to divert and go somewhere else. The real problem, there's nothing to do with speeds or anything programmed in. The real problem is this. And the levers, there's levers underneath here, which you have to have a button clicked, you know, so as I pull the throttles backwards, I have to hold a button on at the same time, and it doesn't always latch on in the simulator, which is stopping us from landing, basically. Unless we can trick it. And on the final part of approach, we can force the throttles through the gate while we're in the air. Let's see if we can. So while we're going downwind, so we've left the aeroplane configured for landing.
One person on board. State your departure
Watch.
intentions.
Can't get it into reverse at all, look. It doesn't like it. It will not do it. We'll have one more go. We need to come in on basically a stall speed. I wonder if we turn in and come in on the other runway.
Sync rate, 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 sync rate.
Because this will be into the wind.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
So the tower's not going to be happy with me, but to be honest, given the conditions and given the control problems, we're doing the best we can.
50, 40,
Take out the fence.
30, 20, 10.
And we've got the reversers to work, by pure luck. No, we haven't, it's just gone to disk mode, and we're going to put the aeroplane into the fence, unless we can cause it to... no. Anyway, yeah, we have some serious issues with the aeroplane, with control, and it's gone to reversers now. It's exactly the same movement with my hand, and it's gone to reversers. So frustrating. So let's just sit here in this ploughed field for a moment. The parking brake, again, I had applied it, it didn't move. So let's turn the head tracking off. Look at this, watch. I'll explain what's going on. So, there is a gate here that you get stuck at, so I've got my throttles pulled all the way back. If I gently move them forwards, let it get stuck. So I hold the lever on, which pulls the levers up underneath, and then I can pull through the gate. If I try to pull them back now, it gets stuck at the gate again, yeah? So I hold that button on again and pull them back, and it won't go into reverse unless I hold it on and wiggle it backwards and forwards. And suddenly it goes into reverse. The curve on my throttle is a straight line. So this is all to do with the implementation of these controls. And it's so frustrating. If you've got a long runway, it's not an issue. I'll show this to you to explain what I'm talking about. So if we go and look at throttle 1 and throttle 2, yeah, and look at the curve, straight line. Yeah, so it's not. I've not got anything clever going on. All I've done is mapped the button to unlock the gate. You can see it there, look. If I wiggle this, I can't get it to go into reverse reliably at all with their own button mappings. So annoying. If we had been able to push it immediately into it won't now, look. I'm holding the buttons and it's just done it, look, by complete luck. It will not. I'm trying to get it to go to reverse and it won't have it. You have to release the button and do it again. So one to go into disk, and again, okay, so you have to, no, it's impossible with this configuration. And you only have to go and look at the forums of the developers of the Q400 to see them, people complaining about it. And basically, their forums are flooded with people complaining about what you just seen, that it's impossible to do a short field landing because you can't get it into reverse quickly enough.
Back again a little bit slower, please. Piper Alpha 5 Tango. Information.
Anyway, the runway was plenty. Oh, sorry, this aircraft capable of landing on runways like that if you got reverse.
TOJAQ then is filed. Departure runway 07. Initial climb 5,000.
There we go. I'm going to leave it there.
126.008.
So we at least go and turn the engines off until the tractor can come and put us back to the airfield.
Piper Alpha 5 Tango.
Look at that. I just tried to drag that backwards and it went forwards. And that's just refusing to take the drag from the mouse repeatedly, which kind of makes a fool of you when you try to control the aeroplane accurately and that sort of thing happens. There we go. Now we just need to wait for our friend with his friendly tractor to come and tow us out. So yes, I know there are a heap of control lever options in here, but none of them helped us today. What I've actually configured is the one that the forums had all said was the best option. If you go and look in the joystick, and if I do a search, so we're looking at the throttle levers. And we scroll down to the bottom. How do you search in this? I thought it was pretty straightforward previously. Oh, here we go. It's in the search here. So if we search for gate.
Tower 137 requesting IFR clearance. Clear to Luton after departure of fly radar vectors Goarly. Departure runway 25, initial climb 5,000. Departure on 124.85 short 5.
So if I edit this, what I've got it set to is this.
Tower, can I get sorry, we've got information kilo,
which is the setting that the community in their forums say use this setting. And then the idea is that as you, so I've set the button on the side, which is not its normal use, as the unlock button to get us through the gate. And look, it just doesn't do it. I'm pulling the throttle through the gate with that button depressed, and it's not having it. It's so frustrating. And now it's done it that time. So you have to do it twice. You have to release it and go again. And that's what causes the problem on short landings. You just don't have the time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It was an explanation of some of the challenges you get. Not particularly, this isn't really an X-plane problem. It's an implementation problem in this aeroplane, where it's a wonderful aeroplane and it's super accurate in the way it's simulated. But this one decision they've made in here with trying to simulate the gate on the power has made it almost unflyable. Okay, I'm going to leave it there anyway. I'll see you all again soon. Take care.